Hi guys, so this is negative indices. So if a number has a negative power, you can put 1 over it and the power becomes positive. So if you look at the first example here, 2 to the power of minus 5, so because that's a minus 5, it makes it a little bit more complicated and it's something that you won't really have seen before. So if that was a positive 5, for example, you could just do 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which would end up being 32. But because it's a negative, we don't really know what to do with it. So that's why this law is here. Any number to the power of a minus power equals 1 over that number, and then the power will just become positive. So the first example, what I can do with that 2 to the power of minus 5 is I can just put 1 over and then 2 to the power of, and then that minus 5 just turns into a positive 5. So when you put 1 over it, the negative power just turns into a positive. So that's the same thing then as 1 over 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 32. So 2 to the power of minus 5 is the same thing as 1 over 32. The second example here, express 1 over 3 to the power of 4 as a number raised to a negative power. So really this is almost the law in reverse, so it's like we're going backwards. So the want is to just put it as a number this time raised to a negative power. So I can almost go back the other way then, so I can just write it 3 to the power of, and then because I'm almost putting it back above the line, the power has to become negative, so it's 3 to the power of minus 4. So 1 over 3 to the power of 4 is the same thing as 3 to the power of minus 4. So here's 2 more questions. If you just want to pause the video and try them yourself and play it on, and I'll go through the answers. So the first one here, 9 to the power of minus 2. That's the same thing as 1 over and then 9 to the power of, and the power becomes positive. So 1 over 9 to the power of 2. And then 9 to the power of 2, you can simplify that into 81 because 9 squared is 81. So 9 to the power of minus 2 is the same thing as 1 over 81. Express 1 over 10 to the power of 3 as a number raised to a negative power. Again, if you're taking this and putting it back above the line, then the power will just change, it becomes negative. So it's 10 to the power of minus 3. So 10 to the power of minus 3 is the same thing as 1 over 10 to the power of 3. Just one more thing I want to show you with these. If it was a fraction, for example, 3 to the power of 4 to the power of, we'll just say minus 1 just for convenience. So that 3 over 4 is being raised to the power of minus 1. If I was to try to change that into a positive power, what you need to do again, if we're to really go into it, you're putting 1 over 3 over 4. So 1 over 3 over 4, and then the power becomes positive 1 like that. But what actually happens is, if I was to do 1 divided by 3 over 4, that's the same thing as 1 over 1 multiplied by 4 over 3. So what actually happens here, and that's 4 over 3. So really what happens is, you don't really need to understand all that. What happens is the number on top and number on the bottom actually just switch places, so it becomes 4 over 3, and then that's a positive 1. If you were to take another one, 2 over 5 to the power of minus 2, what we can do there really is just change that minus 2 into a positive, and then just flip the fractions. Or the fraction, so 5 over 2 to the power of 2, and then that would be 25 over 4. So it's just that if something like a fraction comes up, instead of putting 1 over the fraction, it's the same thing as just flipping it.